Don't you wish you had a manual to help you out with writing prompts? Having this secret sauce, so to speak, for getting those extra juicy images. I know I would. Too bad that doesn't exist. What? It does? Hang on, let me check my notes. Who wrote this? I was told it doesn't exist. Someone's getting fired! Wait, I wrote this. It's just me here. Anyway, this compendium of texts, it's almost like a prompt book. Let's check it out. Hello everyone, so today we're gonna look at OpenArts prompt book. And what they have done is they have created, well, like a slideshow of information about how to create your prompts. I just want to mention that this is not a sponsored video. I just found this very intriguing, so I just wanted to check it out and share it with you guys. So let's look at that. We are now at openart.ai, which is a library of prompts. And if you press this little thingamajig here, I'll put that in the description as well, you're entering the prompt book. So these are tips and tricks for creating your own prompts. So I thought we were gonna check that out. I haven't read it yet. It'll be a fun read to do together. I've just skimmed through it. So a little intro about stable diffusion. The model was trained yada yada, developed by yada yada. Let's skip that. So basically it says here that prompt engineering is basically, writing the text for the prompt. Fancy words. Couple of examples. So this is kind of interesting. It says start by asking a list of questions. Do you want a photo or a painting? Like what's the subject of? Is it a person or an animal? Landscape? Special details like special lighting. You could have ambient lighting. What environment is it in? Is it outdoors? Do you want like a dark color scheme? Vibrant or, and the point of view, like how do you want to see this? Do you want to see this from the front or like a satellite view or what's going on? And you can have lots of stuff like this, little details. And if you have a specific art style, 3D render, or here's Studio Ghibli, for example, or a movie poster, and you have a specific photo type. You can even add specific lenses, camera lenses, if you know stuff like that. So in the example here, they had a photo of real life Shaggy Rogers. So Shaggy is usually animated, and here is a photo of real life. The cinematic lighting, you have some sort of cinematic lighting striking from the side. And it's creating the nice shadows here, and it's peeking from the van's window. The vibrant colors, yeah, I'd say they're pretty vibrant. Bokeh, well, a little bit. Movie poster style, well, maybe. Here's just another example. So skip that. Well, one thing here. They wanted a painting of a golden doodle, and they wanted in the sky. Now, I didn't get in the sky, so here's a thing about the order of text. You can put in the sky earlier in the prompt. That will give it more weight. And now the dog is not in the sky, it's sitting on a table, but, the AI is interpreting this as in the sky more. And again, the order of words. Here's a cat sitting on a Martian table. Here's a cat that is sitting on a table on Mars. You can clearly see the difference. So it's important when you think about your prompts, how you're, well, now I'm using that word again, engineering your prompts. It's a silly word, but whatever. The word prompt engineering is a little over-engineered in my opinion. No biggie. So now we're looking at modifiers. Modifiers are words that can change the style, format, or perspective of the image. Yeah, and they give examples here. Photography, artists, illustrations, aesthetics. Yeah, sounds about right. Let's look at those. Photography. Yeah, this is pretty nice. A lot of the times I get people asking me about prompts and they say, oh, I want a photo of this, and they just have photography. Well, you're going to get a photography, just maybe not what you're looking for. So you need to be a little more specific. Here they have like a close-up, long shot. Wide shot is pretty popular. And the style, like, do you want a Polaroid image? Are you looking for a long exposure? Or like what's going on? The subject, we talked about that briefly. It's what you want in the image. Here's the subject, the husky, the dog. Lighting is super important. Now, the lighting isn't, I say it's important, but it's hard to get right. I tried doing a full video on that and just, I spent hours testing, like getting photography, lighting consistent. But the AI isn't doing that perfectly yet, in my opinion. Now you can get lucky and get like perfect cinematic lighting or a butterfly light, but most of the time it's not that consistent. And again, environment or context here, indoor, outdoor. Here's clearly outdoors, you see here. And they even put the lens and the camera here. I mean, the device isn't going to do lots for you, except like CCTV is a big difference, obviously. But the lens, now that's a whole different story. But also, again, with devices, if you put like Hasselblad in there, well, of course, you're going to get, specific style or better images because if you're taking photos with a Hasselblad, well, it's kind of artsy and it's expensive camera, so the quality is most of the time going to be pretty good. But look at different lenses and what they give you. That's a good tip. And here they have some examples. Yeah, the Polaroid, the tilt shift's pretty cool, like making miniature worlds. Product shot, long exposure. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Portrait, color splash, satellite view. And here you can see we have some different examples. The CCTV, that's clearly like surveillance camera. And the drone is pretty specific as well. Now this is interesting. Thermal, I haven't thought of that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and a couple examples of the lenses. The macro shots, that's going to be very valuable if you're looking for that sort of thing. Fisheye as well. The different millimeters of lenses. Yeah, you can just, go wild. There are so many great options. I don't see how you would, or where you'd want the telephoto lens in the AI. Yeah, I don't know. If you know how you could make great use of telephoto lenses, just put that in the comments and explain that to me. I'd love to know. For me, it's just, I'm thinking of, yeah, it's a zoom. Great, cool. Now what? Anyway, yeah, we talked a little bit about the lighting. Some stuff you can get consistently, like the colors, obviously, and rays, God rays, or crepuscular? How do you even pronounce that? Crepuscular rays, which is basically God rays, where you get the little rays and the dust in them, like all the cool concept artists are painting. Art mediums. Oh yeah, okay. If you're doing like a painting, like what kind of style of what you're using, like the chalk or the oil painting or the watercolor or whatever. Now this is clearly a sidewalk chalk. Graffiti, pretty self-explanatory. Watercolor. Yeah, you're gonna get, the colors tend to mash together a little bit, to float out a bit with the water. This is pretty cool. The fabric. So like someone's been sewing this doll. Pencil drawings. I've always gotten great results with pencil drawings. When I did my Dreambooth stuff of myself, I did a lot of examples with pencil drawings. And the AI is amazing at pencil drawings, so play around with that if you want. And clay. If you're working with the forum and doing animations, the jittery style of the animations work great with clay because it looks it gives the clay life. So try that if you're working with the animations. It's a pro tip from me. Artists, yeah, like a lot of people already have found out, putting artists in your prompts, and a lot of them makes your images look great. And Greg Rutkowski doesn't like this, and I mean, fine, that's his prerogative. But if you put some artists in, it's gonna look great. So try and instead of just putting random artists in, try and Google their names and see, what's the style, what are they painting? Because if you're taking a list of artists and they have different styles, you might get very inconsistent results and not what you're looking for, just a mashup, which could give some happy accidents, of course, in the words of the late Bob Ross. But Google them, see what they look like. Not what they look like, what their art looks like. So here are a couple of examples. This is pretty different ones. I haven't seen Derek Horst before. That's pretty cool. This is a little like, the Asher Brown Duran style. That's great if you're doing old style paintings, but all of these are good, I guess. I don't know about them. Here's a good tip. When making a landscape, it's smart to give a set of the day, like morning, noon, night, and a season. So I mean, if you're looking for an autumn image, just put the autumn in there. Horror artist, yeah, I like Tim Burton, but who doesn't? Everyone likes Tim Burton. This is pretty cool. This is nice as well. Now here's a way of mixing artists. Like if you take a horror artist like this, that's very, well, most of the time very black and white and horror-esque, and put that together with someone that's painting very colorful images, you might get some very cool results. So yeah, try that. Anime, I'm a little versed in some, but not the actual artist. When I'm doing anime stuff, I usually just put Studio Ghibli in there. That's the easiest. That would give you like an older style as well. And, that's cool if you want that. Sci-fi artist. There's this, what's his name? There's this Japanese artist that made sci-fi robots, women robots in the 80s. I can't remember his name now. It's very, very futuristic for his time. If I find this name, I'll put an image somewhere in the screen right now. I probably did. So here you have it. Cool, huh? Photography artists, I mean, like there's a million of them. I used Irving Penn for some photos. That was kind of cool. And here we are, concept artists. Well, in 90% of the concept artist prompts on like OpenArt and Lexicon, whatever, you're gonna see Greg Rutowski, and it's pretty boring at this point. So if you want some variations of that, like check out Derek Zabrocki or Emmanuel Chiu or, well, some of these guys. Shadi Safari, never heard of it, but, or Kentaro Miro. It looks pretty decent. Advanced technique, mixing artist styles. Yes, I would guess like, okay, all right. So what they did here is they put Frank Frazetta and Yoyo Shinkawa, and they put them together. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So look at the artists you like and try and make some creative mixes or happy accidents with that. External links. Well, you're gonna have to check those out for yourself. I'm gonna move on with this. Illustration. Bob Ross toy. Yeah, I miss Bob Ross. That was fun. Fun times, fun times. Cute panda origami art. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's neat. I haven't seen lots of origami art. I saw some porcelain art. Needle felted. Oh, yeah, okay. Isometric assets. Yeah, those are always really cool. Low poly stuff. Pixar renders. Yeah, these are probably going to be very popular. You're going to see those all over the place. Vector. Yeah, you're not gonna get like proper vectors out of this, but I haven't watched the video yet, but there's this other YouTuber, Albert Boseman. He does tutorials, AI tutorials as well, and I know he made some sort of AI to vector thing. Yeah, so you can check that out if you want. It might be one of his 1 hour tutorials, but it might be good. Comic style, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Caricature, propaganda posters. Yeah, they did some great posters back in the days, in the propaganda times of the USSR and American and whatnot. We even have some great propaganda posters in Sweden from back in the day. I like that art style. Movie poster. Yeah, the great thing about movie posters is you get great art and great images. The bad thing is you get lots of crap text that you have to clean up later. So yeah, that's, the drawback. But you have some Photoshop skills or Photopeia or whatever. You can fix that in post. Here they say splash art. I mean, yeah, I guess. Concept art, digital painting. Oh yeah, are these the old like Japanese wooden things? I saw those in a museum once, if that's the thing. I don't know. Stickers. I mean, if you want to make your own stickers, you can just, take your image into Photoshop and just add a stroke to it, like a couple of pixels, a white stroke, and you get this effect. It's kind of nice. It's a little drop shadow here as well. Fantasy maps for your Dungeons and Dragons people out there. I did play that once, or not once. I played it many times when I was a kid. But in Sweden we called it Dragons and Demons. It was I don't think it was a clone, but it was similar. Let's see what they're saying. When it comes to creating character, you want to first describe the broad description of them, like male orc. Then adding more to them like metallic armor. Yeah, that's, have the subject first and then the details and then, art styles. Yeah, sounds about right. So they start with a digital orc and the art style or the artist. And here they have, adding the metal armor. And what's this? Concept sheet. Yeah, okay. So they get this sort of style. And what's the difference here? That's the exact same thing. Oh, okay. The last image is made from using image to image on a higher scale to get better detail. The strength was about 30. I think they must mean 0.30. The strength is usually a slider between 0 and 1. 0.3 would be like little change. 0 is no change, 1 is full change. Emotions. So scared panda, so it says here. Yeah, I mean, simple feelings can set the atmosphere of the scene. Yeah, very cute, sad girl toy, curly hair. Yeah, she's looking kind of sad. Yeah, so here's a good thing that they put in, like positive emotions. Obviously, you're gonna think about people. It's like happy, whatever. But here they have cozy, like for an environment. That's pretty neat. So it's descriptive of environments as well. It's not really like an emotion, but you know what I'm getting at. Yeah, and this husky is really joyful. But you know what dog running isn't. We have hope. That's a pretty abstract one, but get it? Lust, peaceful. I saw instantly, the Studio Ghibli style. I like it. It has this simplistic vibe that, modern anime doesn't. Well, some does, obviously. But yeah, I like the style of that era. Negative emotions, depressing. Yeah, that's kind of, here again, this is a depressing environment. That would convey most of the time the color. That works. Loneliness, grim, regret. Try and work that in if you can. Aesthetics. Psychedelic lion. Yeah, so now we're talking. Like, this is stuff I like. Trying to get some themes of color and styles into it, like vaporwave. That's the super cool, because you know instantly they're gonna put blues and pinks in there. It's this Miami 80s vibe all over it. Love it. Couple of gloomy ones, liminal space. I don't know what that is actually. You can educate me in the comments again. After hours is basically at night. Brutalism, yeah, that's pretty nice, because you're getting the architecture of it. Post-apocalyptic as well. Let's make some Fallout images. Historic, yeah, Danny DeVito. I just had Danny DeVito in my GTA 6 style images. It was a great image of Danny. I like this one. It's like Baroque and still modern. I think that would look great above his mantelpiece in his house. Soviet wave, yeah. USSR. Oh, this is cool. They put a car in the Wild West, and the AI thought, well, I can't put a modern car in there. It has to be a car that looks like it's from the Wild West. And it actually worked. That's nice. Film noir is going to be, black and white style. Do you see that? What's that? Was it The Artist? This silent film noir kind of style. Yeah, that was great. Anyway, move on. Magic words. Magic words. What's this? Well, this is a wizard, obviously, but what are the magic words? Oh, HDR, Ultra HD, 64K. Oh, that's a big image. I usually end at like 4K and 8K. 64K, I haven't tried that one. It could work. So you're gonna get, the idea at least is to get higher resolution and more detail in the image. Highly detailed. I mean, I think these are, sometimes they work great, and sometimes, but I throw them in a lot. But as long as you generate enough batches, you're gonna get what you want if you put like highly detailed 8K and octane render or whatever in there. So might as well. It's not hurting. Studio lighting. Here we have Morgan Freeman. And again, we talked a little bit about lighting before, and it's a little inconsistent with the training of lights, but some of this studio lighting is actually one of the more consistent ones. And again, God rays. Cinematic lighting is pretty good as well. I use cinematic lighting a lot. You can just put the word cinematic in there. Professional, yeah, you can see that working. Trending and ArtStation, that's a really popular one, almost as popular as Greg Lutkowski. And I use this as well. Gives good results, because there's great art on ArtStation, like all around. And if it's trending, well, it's amazing art. So just throw it in there if you're doing illustrations or concept art or whatever. Unreal Engine, yeah, if you're doing 3D stuff, that's a good thing to put in there. You can put like octane render as well. Vivid colors. Yeah, I can see that working. I usually try and pick the colors that I want, or put like, we had an example of vaporwave before. I tried to do like retro wave, synth wave, neon, purple, pink, green, etc. You can be very specific with that. I usually do that for my thumbnail images, being very specific with the images and glowing light. Bokeh, yeah, that's this stuff in the background here. It's like the blur of the background, or blur of the background and lights. Sometimes you get these little rings. I think you can almost see. Here's one actually. Here's one, and here's a little one. Sometimes you get the big ones. That's most people are looking for. Depends on what lens you have. If you're not getting, the bokeh you want. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Bokeh? Anyway, try that. Google bokeh and different lenses, and you'll get some examples of that. High resolution scan. Oh, okay, that's pretty sweet. Historic looking photo, add high resolution scan. I hadn't thought of that actually. So that's a cool thing. Sketch versus painting. Almost always sketch creates pencil images. Yeah, I can see that. Painting adds colors. Fair enough. All right, parameters. Let's see what this is about. Resolution, default is 512 by 512. Yeah, that's right, because they train the model on images that are 512 by 512. And if you use images or a resolution that's something else, I mean, it's possible, but it's harder for the AI to understand that. So the best results you're always going to get in 512 by 512, at least for now. Yeah, and the CFG, the classifier free guidance, that's the scale. So if you've seen my other videos and tutorials, you know that scale is how closely the AI listens to the prompt. And you can see it here. The prompt is a red bird drinking water from a lake. So a low prompt, a low scale completely ignores the prompt. The AI does what it wants. And a high scale, like in the example here, 15, you're basically telling the AI, I mean, you better make this image or I'm going to whoop you. And 15 is all right. It's a little high, but it still works. 7 is it's a good balance, but it's also on the lower end of the spectrum. If you're going like 0 and 4 or whatever, you basically, writing a prompt at that stage is basically useless. Step count, well, default is 50. Well, yes and no. It depends on the sampler. If you're doing like Euler Ancient, the default is more like 20. But it's true that most samplers have a default that's good at 50. You can see a more in-depth guide in my Ultimate tutorial. And they say here usually higher is better, but to a certain degree, for beginners, it's recommended to stick with the default. The diminishing returns after 50 are just ridiculous. And, you'll get longer render times. So, stick with 50. It's fine for most images. And the seed, default is always random. And it's basically the noise that the AI tries to make an image out of. Think of the noise as, then back in the day when the TV had no programming on, which is static noise. In Sweden, we call that the ants war. So the black ants would be fighting the white ants. None of them ever seemed to win. I think that was the point of the war. If you change the seed so it's not random, you're going to get the same starting point every time. So you say, like in the example here, if you have a seed set at 8, you get this image from this prompt. But then you can change the prompt a little bit to adapt this image. If you have a randomized seed and change the prompt, you get like a fully random image each time. So in that sense, it can be good to have a static seed. Sampler. See what they write here. That can be pretty interesting. Diffusion samplers are the meta used to denoise the image during generation, and since they differ in the way of calculating the next step in the image production, they take different durations and different number of steps to reach a usable image. We suggest beginners to use DDIM since it's fast and can usually generate good images with only 10 steps. Alright, that's cool. That's fast. Sure, go for it. Euler Ancient makes it in about 20. KLMS takes about 50. I've been using KLMS for a long time since we started this, and that's not a very long time for most. But if you're just starting out, sure, try DDIM at 10 steps, and if you have a slow computer, that's great for you. Some samplers are slower than others. Hune, for example, are super slow. But I've used it when I did what was that? When I did the tutorial on prompt editing and prompt alternating, because KLMS gave me lots of artifacts, so Hune was much better for that. So they have their uses, all the samplers. Important tips. Let's see, when to use different CFG or scale values. Creative might not follow the prompt, so basically you don't... I can't see of any reason to use a scale this low, because when would you want a randomized image? Then you might not, just put no prompt in, I guess. 7 to 10, good balance between creativity and guided generation. Great. When you're sure that your prompt is good, specific enough. 10 to 15, fair enough. Sure, I agree. Just stick to 7 to 15. When to use different examples. We looked at this earlier. We just skip this. Power of seeds. Here they have an example of using the same seed and changing the prompt. So if you'd have this prompt and then just try to replace it with cute cat and have a randomized seed, you would not get anything close. All these images use the same seed and parameters. Only changes was the prompt. Token efficiency. Your prompt is limited to 75 tokens. Some tools expand that, but most, like automatic 1111, it's going to be capped at 75. And honestly, if you're getting anything longer than that, you need to cut your prompt. The thing with longer and shorter prompts is the shorter ones are going to be more weighted. And when I say weighted, I mean they're going to have more oomph, so to speak. Like this in the bottom, horse Van Gogh. The horse is going to be, it's not 33%. It's actually higher because this is in the beginning, but it has like a high percentage of the prompt. A horse here would not be quite as strong because it's in a percentage of the rest of the prompt. So in that way, longer or shorter prompts can also make vastly different images. The order of words can be as important as the words themselves. Absolutely true. If you're not getting what you're looking for, just change the wording. Don't forget about conventional tools. You got a great generation with the messed up facial features. Use GFP Scan to fix it. Yeah, so that's face restoration, and most of the time, at least when you're generating women, you need to use face restoration or you're gonna have a bad time. Face restoration, you're gonna have a good time. I'd recommend CodeFormer. Chief Began works as well, and that's built in Automatic 1111. Image to image in painting, outpainting. I have a full tutorial on that. You can find it on my channel, and it's basically what they're doing here. Like the most common use case is you have a sketch and you want to turn that into a pretty image. So most people can draw this, and then it can write a proper prompt. Digital painting of a magical pirate ship floating in a purple mist cloud over a desert. Vibrant colors, 3D Pixar render, delicate details, strong sun rays. Except for the strong sun rays. But you can get from this children's painting, probably made by a 35-year-old. We got this beautiful image. The power of AI. Image to image variation. Yeah, I do this all the time in my tutorials. Each time you're working with an image, you might not get the results you're looking for, but you can keep iterating. Just take the new image, put that into image to image, make new ones, put that into image to image. Like each new step gets you closer and closer to the end result. Image to image strength variations. They say here that at times the image at the start will be correct, but not the face you want. So if you use the image with a low strength, you can recreate the image until you get the face you like. Yeah, I have a full tutorial on this as well, but the basic concept is you have a strength value between 0 and 1. If you put that to 0, nothing will change. If you put that to 1, everything will change. So from the from the left image here to the second, I guess they're having a value of what, like 0.3, 0.4, maybe 0.5, to change the image without and still keep most of it, like the shapes. You have the horns here. So that's the low strength variations. Couple of examples of inpainting, couple of examples of outpainting. Not a lot of detail here, but just examples. If you want to learn more about inpainting, I have, it's in my ultimate guide. I go through it in detail. OpenArts showcase. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Like a woman as a fox. Very symmetric face. Good eyes. That's cool. Steampunk thing. Eyes are kind of messed up, but that's, face restoration would fix that for you. Again, you can see the eyes here. This needs a face restoration pass. CodeFormer would probably fix that. But here you can see it's an oil painting, and you're getting some oil painting structures. Well, this is cool. Really nice. It's a really nice. It's like a porcelain sculpture mixed with a photograph. Yeah, very nice, very cool. Oh, it's like a miniature thingamajig, almost like a tilt shift. Yeah, again, miniature. That's kind of sweet. You have the God rays in the background here. Yeah, you even have it here. God's rays. Yeah, spotted it. Boom. Oh, my man, Derek Zabrocki. It's misspelled though. It's D-A-R-E-K. Greg's there as usual. Yeah, nice. I like it. This is nice. I would guess that these would be God rays, but they're actually rays of light, and the mist here helps it. I should use mist more. This is really nice. I do like a good landscape. That's cool. You're really getting the scale of it, especially when you have the small characters here. Now this is an interesting one because this is meant to replicate a photograph, because you have a camera and a lens and stuff like that. Lots of photo stuff in the prompt. I think Britt Marling is a photographer as well. The lighting is pretty good with the smoke here. I'm missing some dust in the lighting here to give it some depth. Apart from that, pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these. It's actually one of the first prompts I started with when I played around in Stable Diffusion when it was released. It's actually this exact prompt. So I have lots of generations of this with various creatures. I even had my daughter play with it and make various animals. That's hilarious. That's really hilarious. It's like you don't know if it's alive or not. It's like, yeah, breaded chicken with the crown of a king. I love it. It's my new spirit animal. Thanks for reading the prompt book. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Thanks for checking the video out. I hope you learned something. And if you didn't, I go through all of this and more in my ultimate guide tutorial thingamajig with everything on it and the cherries on top. So yeah, check that out. And this video was not sponsored by OpenAI. I just checked this out because I thought it was cool. One of my previous videos were, however, sponsored by OpenArt. So yeah, full transparency. Take care. Bye bye.